Good afternoon, students. Myself, Professor P.B. Ingre, and today we will discuss the unit number 2 of a subject automobile engineering. So, this is unit number 2. What is the name? The name is fuel supply system. Okay, so let's discuss the lecture number 6. So, fuel feed system for a petrol engine. So, from the name, we will understand what is the meaning of this fuel supply system. We know that we have the two type of the fuel. One is diesel, another is petrol. Okay, then apart from we have the gas is also CNG, like that. So fuel supply system. So this petrol or diesel or CNG we have to require for our vehicles. Okay, and this all classification we already discussed in unit number 1, guys. Okay, so let us discuss here fuel fed system for petrol engines. First of all, we discuss the petrol engines. So purpose of a fuel supply system. What is the purpose? What is the purpose of this fuel supply system? So you see here the purpose of an engine fuel system is to provide the cylinder with a mixture of air and fuel in the correct proportions for the engine's requirement at any particular instant. This is the main purpose of the fuel systems. Means we have to require the proper air fuel mixtures, proper proportions to run the engines. So there are basically two methods is available. One is called as carburation methods and used for petrol engines, and other is a type of fuel injection which is the characteristic methods of what is a diesel engines. So fuel injection in diesel and carburation is what is here in a petrol engine, guys, for the what is air fuel mixture purposes. So store sufficient amount of fuel for a reasonable cruising range for the vehicles. So we have to store the fuel in a vehicle, we know that, guys. Filter the fuel and the air. So whatever the petrol we have to store in our vehicles, this petrol it should be, we have to properly filter with the properly air, and then after that this air fuel mixture is add into our engines. So deliver the fuel to the engine's carburetor. Throttle of the body or fuel is injectors. Okay, there is throttle process will be there. So do not allow the fuel to vaporize in the fuel lines in vapor lock. Do not allow the fuel vapor into the atmospheres. So these are the precautions we should require there. Fuel should not be vaporized or fuel should not be passed into the atmospheres. So what is the arrangements of a fuel supply system in SI engines? So we know this SI engine is nothing but what is a petrol engine, guys. Spark ignitions. There is required what is the spark plug is required. Okay. So what is the diagram? We know this is the engine design. This is the our piston. There is a connecting rod. There is a this is we know this is the inlet valve. This is the what is outlet valve. The exhaust gas is come out. So this is the air. So we know the in suction stroke the fuel is entered. Okay, then compression, then power stroke and exhaust. So air is passing into this carburetor dies. This is the carburetors. So first of all, this air is filtered inside the air filter. The function of the air filter to remove the whatever the dust or mud which is constitute, we should be removed with the help of this air filter. And this air is enter here inside the carburetors. In fuel tank, the fuel is entered through the carburetors. Okay, and there is a mixtures. Then after this air fuel mixture is entered inside the engines, and then there is a combustion will be takes place. Engine will be run. Okay. So a fuel feed system supplies the fuel present in the fuel tank to the engine cylinder for the combustion. Okay, so different fuel systems are adapted for the fuel to reach the engine cylinders. So what are these different fuel feed system? We look at here, guys. First one is what is gravity system. Second one is what is vacuum system. Third one is what is pressure system. Fourth number pump system. Fifth number fuel injection systems. There are total 5 methods available to supply the fuel into the engines. That is called as the fuel fed system. So first of all, we discuss about the gravity system. What is this gravity? So in the gravity system, the fuel tank is placed in a position higher than that of the carburetors. Okay. So suppose there is a carburetors will be there. So fuel tank is placed here. Okay. This is the fuel tank and this is what is a carburetors. Since the fuel tank is connected directly to the carburetors, this is connection of the direct carburetors through this fuel tank. The fuel flows from the tank to the carburetor under the influence of gravity. The gravity system used in scooter engines and motorcycles. From the name, we should understand what is the gravity systems. Now another we have the what is second system, what is vacuum system. So in vacuum system, what is the suction produced by the engine? Okay, means there is suction inside the engine and transfer the fuel from the main tank to the auxiliary fuel tank, and from this auxiliary fuel tank flowed into the carburetor due to the action of the gravity. Okay, so vacuum system is almost obsolete now. Nowadays we cannot use this vacuum system. It is very difficult systems. Third is what is a pressure system. So what is in pressure system? The pressure system comprises a pressure sealed tank with a separate air pump inside the tank. Okay, so suppose this is the fuel tank. There is one air pump will be there. Okay, the air pump inside the tank produces the pressure required for the fuel to flow into the carburetors. So from this fuel tank, with the help of this air pump, we have to supply the fuel inside this carburetor, guys. The pressure system is also almost obsolete, not used nowadays. Another is a pump system. So in the pump system, a fuel pump supplies the fuel from the fuel tank to the carburetor. The feed pump is used universally in automobile vehicles. Nowadays we have to use the pump system. So from this fuel tank, there is a pump will be used, and this pump is pump the fuel inside the carburetor, guys. Similar like from our well, we have to remove the water with the help of this pump like that. Okay. Another is fuel injection system. So in fuel injection system, the carburetor is replaced by fuel injection pump. Okay, in a diesel engine. This is the fuel injection which is in diesel engine, which supply the fuel in atomized form by fuel injection to the airstream. The fuel injection system is used in very few modern vehicles. It is also called as what is a diesel engines. So out of these first 4 system makes the use of carburetor, while fuel engine system carburetor has been dispatched with all together. Look at this petrol fuel feed system, guys. So if you observe here, this is the fuel petrol system. This is called as the first number is a tank. Second number, what is there? This filter will be used there. This is the filter. This is the tank. This is filter. Third number, there is a pump will be there, guys. This is the pump. Fourth number is what is? This is our carburetors. Okay. The last number, this is our piston cylinder, guys. So in this way, the fuel is transferred from the tank. The fuel is filtered, then pass the pump, which increases the pressures, then pass fuel inside the carburetor, and from the carburetors, it is entered inside the cylinder for combustion purpose through this inlet valve, guys. Okay. So here I am note down fuel supply system in automobile with petrol engine consists of following parts: fuel tank, fuel filter, fuel lines, fuel pump, carburetors, air cleaner or air filter, and inlet manifold. So you see, look at here: fuel tank, fuel filter, fuel lines, fuel pumps. Okay, so you see guys here what is in fuel tank. Okay, this is the first our fuel tank. Look at this. This is the fuel tank of our automobile engines. Okay, this is the fuel tanks. So fuel tank holds the fuel for the engine. We know the function of the fuel tank: to store or to hold the fuels inside the fuel tank. Made of steel or aluminum alloy steel. Which material will be used for constructions? Steel or aluminum alloy steel is used. Place in a vehicle at a suitable locations. Which is the better position? There is a location of the fuel tank. Nowadays we have to observe different vehicles, two-wheeler, four-wheeler, then in two-wheeler also in scooty, Suzuki SS, Pulsar, Hero Honda. We know where is the location of the fuel tanks. Then the fuel filter. Most commonly used filter is fine mesh gauge. It has worked very well where the large dust particles are involved. So there is the use of the fuel filter, guys. So in petrol filter, if you consider, one is the what is this is the bowel. Second is what is the this is the strainer. Third is what is the spring will be there. Okay. 4 number is what is the inlet. 6 number is the squares. So these are the design of the fuel filter. If you observe, here is also different design of the filter. This is the filter. This is the filter locations, inlet of the fuels, outlet. Okay, so various design of the filter will be available, fuel filters. Now another is, guys, what is a fuel pump? So what is the fuel pump will be theirs? What is the role? So general arrangement of the petrol supply system. So if you observe diagram, what is this is first number, what is our fuel tank, second number what is fuel filter, third number fuel fan, operating for what is required, the cam is there, this is the float chamber for overflow, this is air cleaner, this is the throttle ball, this is the throttle. With the help of this throttle we have to transfer this air fuel mixture into the engine, guys. Okay, and this is the choke will be provided there. So this is the general diagram of the fuel pump. So look at here, two main type of the fuel system most generally used are which one? AC mechanical pump, and second is what is SU electrical pump. So these are the two type of the pumps is used in automobiles. So look at this the diagram in fuel pump system, guys. There is a location of this fuel pump. Okay, there is a location of this carburetor. This is the flexible pipe, and suppose this is the petrol tank here in the back sides. Okay, so from this fuel pump is suck the fuel, okay, through this flexible pipe from the carburetor is passed into the where, into the engines. This is the fuel pump system of a fuel supply. So this is the AC mechanical pump. Okay, look at this design. This is the design of the pump. This is the pump will be there. So what is the construction? This is the ball retainer, this is the sedimental ball, filter skin, outlet wall, inlet wall, diaphragm, rocket arm. Okay, so this is the constructions and working. This is another is how it is operated. This is the bowel retains. Okay, the fuel is entered through this inlet walls with the help of this rocket arm. When the rocket arm is operated through this diaphragm, guys, the inlet wall is open from this inlet wall. Okay, then after that the fuel filter screw will be there from the fuel filter screen. Okay, then after that the fuel is passed into the where, inside the IC engines. If you observe here, you look at here, with the help of this rocket arm, this fuel pump is operated. This is the pivot end. This is out to the carburetors. This is inlet of the fuel, like that. After the filter it pass like that. This is the pressurized valve will be there. This is the strainer, this is the push rod, this is the diaphragm to support the push rods, this is our chamber, through the chamber after the cleaning of the all fuels. Okay, then this fuel will be passed. This is a strainer, this is complete the fuel is filter. Okay, this is the design of the mechanical pump. Second is what is the, there is electrical pump guys will be there. This is the intake electric fuel systems. This is the pump. We know the function of the pump to pump the fuels into the IC engine guys. Okay. So you see here in electric fuel pump systems. So look at the components. What is the component will be there? There is a fuel in, this is the fuel out. This is the diaphragm, this is the armature, there is solenoids, this is the ignition systems, this is the breaker points. If you observe in this diagram, these are the two valves will be there, V1, V2. This is the filter will be there. This is the oil in tank. This oil is out to the carburetor, pass into the IC engines. This is the diaphragm. This is the iron disc. This is the diaphragm springs. This is the electromagnetic cells. This is the pull rod. This is the contact points. This is the springs. Okay. So we supply the electricity with the help of this electric current. This fuel pump is operated. Okay, and supply the fuel inside a diesel engines. Okay. So if you look at here, one by one components we will discuss. Air filter or cleaners. So to remove the dust in the air, there is a need of air cleaners. We require the air cleaners whenever we pass the air into the IC engine or diesel engine or petrol engine. The dust is come with the air, so this air will be removed. Apart from filtering the air cleaner is also perform other function like what is? It acts as a silencer for the carburation system. It reduces the engine induction noise to acceptable levels. It is replaced periodically or cleaning regularly, say every what is 20,000 kilometer guys. So this is the design of this air filter. Okay, with the help of this air, this is the dusty air converted into the pure form of the air guys. So these are the two type of the air cleaner. One is heavy duty type, another is a light duty type. So to discuss the heavy duty type air cleaner, you see here, this is the oil bath type. There is oil will be there completely. This is the at bottom position we observed. This completely oil sump will be there both the sides. It contains a filter element C. If you observe in the diagram, there is a filter element C. These are the filter elements C. Observe guys, saturated with the oils. At the bottom there is a separate oil pan D. There is one location of this oil pan D guys here. Okay. The air from the atmosphere enters through the circumstantial gap A. So air is entered through this A portions. There is a location of this A will be there. Okay, through this gap. At the corner of the B, where air taker turns, there is a B points and there is take the turns at the corner. It leaves the large impurities there, and next impinging on the surface of the oil relieves the air further of impurities. The air is continuous passing from all the system and filter of the air will takes place. Finally, cleaning is done by means of a filter C. Okay, then enter where in C filters, then clear air pass through the passage E. Okay, passage E. After that, both the side the air will be come from the C and passage into the E portions as shown in figures. Okay. And then after that it pass into the carburetors and there is a mixing of air and fuel will be takes place. So this is called as the heavy duty type. Another is what is a light duty type. You look at here, figure 9.7. Okay, this one shows a light duty type of air cleaner. So it consists of a cleaning element only cleaning. The element consists of a cylindrical cellulose. This is complete design of the cylindrical shape cellulose fiber materials. Which material will be used there? Fiber, over which we put a fine mesh screen. Okay, so this is the one cover. We have to put one fine mesh screen, very fine, to provide the strength. The element is corrugated to increase the surface area exposed to the incoming air so that resistance is offered by the air cleaner is reduced minimum. Okay, so this is the bonded paper elements like that, bottom cover. So side of the elements are sealed against the dust. The air passes through the element and any dust contained is left outside. So this is the simple arrangement and construction of this light duty type. Okay, so I stop here guys. In next lecture will be discussed carburetors. So okay, thank you very much.